business day, negotiating team. The ANC has got a coalition team that is headed by the Secretary General. We've got members of that team. There is a GNU team that is headed by the Secretary General and the negotiating team. Members of that team, there are many. Pakstau, Zuko, Kenke, Makura, Phoebe, Nomvula, Marupeni, Kwede Mantashe, Andris Nel, whom am I missing? Mahlengi, Enoch Kotongwan. Those are the members of the team. Ronald Lamula. That is the negotiating team of the ANC. Time frames, of course, we work within time frames. We have said to you in a week's time, we should have engaged with all political parties and have a sense of direction about what is the conclusion on the impasse in terms of the budget. That's what we're going to do. News 24, Herman Mashaba. What were you saying, Thames? Yeah, of course. That is part of the negotiations. That's what we're going to be engaging about. There's been a lot of pressure on Action SA and BOSA to explain themselves about passing which I think it's unfair, the implications for them and the fact that they support the increase of VAT. It's not true. They didn't support the increase of VAT. So we've made that point very clear. So, and I've explained to you now that all the parties we talked to did not agree, others understood. We moved from 2% to 0.5%. So if we were to totally take VAT out, where will we get the money? Reprioritize. So the ANC says in its statement of the NWC, because what it means is that austerity kicks in. It means your priorities in terms of what constitutes pro-poor will then suffer. So all of those must be addressed. Where will the Treasury get the money from to address the shortfall in the budget? From where I'm seated, I know that Action SA have made a grocery of proposals of where the money should come from in terms of this. The DA has been shifting goalposts. Now want us to debate and agree on issues that, in our view, do not affect the budget. We can engage continuously on those particular issues that they are actually raised. Operation Vulindlela, wanting a particular person to lead that and all of that, and then look at the spending. That is the matter that is being attended to in government. Dissolution in terms of the passenger rail and all of that. It is addressed in the rail policy of this country. So the question is, how do we go about that? Concessions for Cape Town Port and Durban. Those are the issues that they are actually raising. Now, those matters cannot make us not to pass the budget. They should be negotiated and engaged and be resolved in the context of governance going forward. We have seen this submission made by a senator or a Republican person in the capital on the bill to sanction South Africa and in particular ANC leaders. The ANC will pronounce with regard to that. Obviously, we are not in favor of that. There's no basis whatsoever to sanction ANC leaders on the basis of what I've read in that bill. I think that is fishing and creating a false basis for sanctioning individuals. So it's a question of being punitive, using the reasons that have been advanced in that particular bill. But the ANC will respond to that. And the ANC will also like to engage with Americans at the highest level about what is happening in our country and to also understand them, where they come from on these issues. We think that yesterday the NWC have agreed that we need to engage with American leadership on the false narratives that have been peddled against our country. As an organization, in our own right, we need to engage, and we will do so, starting with the embassy and the ambassador and everyone else around here. We did the same with Lady R. We engaged with Brigetti, ambassador of America. He was here at Luthuli House. You saw it. We will do the same even now about these issues that have been raised. And we are doing that for South Africa's benefit, so that this great country of ours does not face punitive measures and we did nothing, we folded our arms, we did nothing. We will do so up until at the end, where even sanctions are imposed on us and everyone else in our country and against our country, because these punitive measures will be dire in terms of South America's trade relations. So we will engage with that. The false narrative must be challenged and be rebutted. Is the DA, if the DA works, it's obvious, if the DA works, they will be replaced by those who wish to participate in the government of national unity. If they don't work, if the DA doesn't work, they will explain themselves why they are not working. So that's what they will have to explain. We have decided to stay. We are not working. Why? Because everything suggests that we are ready to walk to the moon. So why are we not working? They will explain why we are not working. Why should we explain that? When I decide to stay in a relationship, I decide that I love you or I love this process. You decide for the basic reason of love that I'm staying. I had second thoughts about you, but it's fine. I've decided to stay. So they will answer that question. I'm sure Helen Zille is ready for answering that question herself about staying or not leaving and so on. We didn't dismiss anyone as government. We didn't, our president didn't dismiss anybody. They chose that we are working. But it looks like they are happy to stay. So as you would have seen, McPherson explaining a lot in terms of Department of Public Works. So they are ready. But you can't stay without explaining yourself how you deal with this animal. If you stay, how do you deal then with the budget? So those are negotiations and discussions we're going to have with them. But I've seen sweeping statements all around about we're not beholden to the DA, we're beholden to South Africa. That's why you make a mistake. We're beholden to this country. We're not beholden to Helen Zille and his party. We disagree with them. We don't agree with them about how this country must be transformed. They don't agree with redress. Actions speak louder than words. You know, here in South Africa, it's easy to lie. At some point, they said, no, our president is a spy, he works with CIA. Our president is loved by Americans. And Dr. Mbuyisen Ndlozi says, I've never seen a spy which is like this one. And then he started to mention. And then secondly, he explained. They said, no, he loved white people, he loved the DA and all of that. And then he explains, Bella Act, NHI, expropriation, all of these things that are done by who? Cyril Ramaphosa. Now, Mren, if you say you are beholden to something, how? Slogans, rhetoric, making noise that no, we are not party to this, we are party to that, and all of that. Duping people with slogans and rhetoric. When it matters most, you know, for instance, let me give you an example. EFF and its leader, they make a lot of noise. They don't love the DA and all of that and so on. The ANC went to them and said that, okay, fine, you don't agree with VAT, abstain. What did they do? They voted. With who? The DA. If Malema and his party had the majority that we have, do you think that they will be working with the ANC? They won't. He hates the ANC with passion. Him and Floyd combined. I don't know why they are fighting. I think that's a movie we're being subjected to. That fight of Floyd and Julius, it's not real. That thing is just a movie. It's fiction. These are buddies. So Floyd has been sent to go and manage JZ and that MK party and Dalimpofu. So it's a big fiction, my brother. These people are buddies like this. They are together. So they say they want to remove the ANC surgically, including working with the DA. They want to remove us from power. Both of them. They would have abstained and come back to us and say, but guys, we have abstained in this thing. We don't want VAT. Mashaba has said that we don't want VAT. Busa, we don't want VAT. Anyone said so. Even our allies, COSATU, Communist Party, everybody. I'm not sure about the Communist Party these days, but they also oppose to VAT. The worker unions in the country, Bovavi and so on. And so on. We went to Parliament, vote for the framework. They are there, fighting. DA says they are going to court to challenge the budget. All right? DA, you are asking me that they are in government. They went to court to challenge the budget. How do you do that and still remain on the other? Now you want to blame it on us. These people are marching on. It's just a matter of pronouncement that we are gone. But they've long taken a decision to leave. Now, they go to court. Malema supports them to go to court on the budget. He doesn't even tactically retreat from that. And then he's duping South Africans that, no, he's anti-DA and then they must leave, and then this and that. We are not kids. Maybe they're in EFF where they meet. They can dupe each other there. Not Tina. DA says they don't want MK and EFF. When the opportunity comes, they vote together. They didn't abstain because these ones are in. They left the GNU and went to join MK Party and EFF to vote against the budget. Where is business in that? I see the letter the business have written to John and our president have responded to that. I think business has been erratic because business believes that they are savior and everybody and the most important person is the DA. It's incorrect. The ANC is not anti-business. We have issues with business. Our strategy and tactics is very clear. Our relationship with business is unity and struggle of the opposite. What does that mean? It means there are things we agree on to move the country forward. There are things we don't. We are not a socialist party. Neither are we a capitalist party. We're advancing mixed economy. Study the ANC properly to understand. That's why people have failed, even the group of 8, because they wanted to transform the ANC and make it a socialist party, and we expelled them. This notion that the ANC must change overnight and become a socialist party, it's incorrect. It's a reductionist, it's a distortion of the African National Congress. People who want to become socialist and communist, they've got a party, Vanguard, which is now going to contest elections, called the South African Communist Party. They must join it, legally so, not underground, and fight for socialism, distinctly. The Communist Party is only that they said that the road to socialism cannot go without combining with the National Democratic Revolution, the NDR. NDR is primarily about resolving the national question. So we know what we stand for as the ANC, unlike all these political parties who don't know what they stand for. And then they are in a marriage over a budget with the DA. They console themselves that, no, we are not. We're doing this against the ANC. So any opportunity they will find, they will work against the ANC. We are not beholden to the DA. We are beholden to South Africa. That's what we are beholden to. We don't want to turn this country into rebels. We are transforming a country within a capitalist mode of production. That's what you need to understand. We're not, we're doing these things that we are doing for our people, and we are still advancing, and we have not arrived within a capitalist mode of production in South Africa. And that's what we need to understand. We are not beholden to anybody, not beholden to the DA, anyone. It's just that those who are doing cheap politics, they like to throw this thing at us that sisebenza ne-DA. We're not beholden to the DA. Where have you seen in this GNU where the ANC bent over to the Democratic Alliance? Where? That's what you need to explain. We are in this soup of GNU because we did not win the elections. We invited everybody, and those ones who are making noise every day, they said they are not going to come in, the GNU. And they used the reason as DA. Okay, you don't like the DA? We go there in parliament and vote. Who do they vote with? And you interview them every day, but you don't ask them this question. I don't know why, but you don't ask them. Why do you work with DA to stop the budget when you had a choice to abstain? You can't work alone in that parliament. You work with others. MK Party, DA, EFF became great friends overnight without talking to each other, because everything but ANC. So they agreed there in parliament. So if it was the ANC, you were going to, Julius and his party worked with the DA here in Johannesburg and voted for them to govern Johannesburg, including working with Mashaba as a DA leader here in Johannesburg, even in Pretoria. We went to them with a cap in their hand, and then we said to them, let's work together. They refused. They must know we will never beg them for anything this time around. They come in the GNU, they can make many pronouncements. We will never beg them for anything. EFF and that Umkhonto weSizwe Zuma party will never beg them for anything. The same as will never beg the DA. We are not beholden to them. They have chosen to participate, and they have created their own chaos. We are still standing. You know, when Zuma decided to appoint a minister over a weekend, this country's economy collapsed to rubbles, and he had to go and fetch Pravin Gordhan. Do you want us to do that for South Africa? For whose benefit? Collapse the economy, everything becomes chaos in this country. We're not beholden to the DA. DA can walk even tonight if they want to walk. Let them walk. Let them walk. This GNU will not collapse. With us at the helm, it will not collapse. We'll continue with the GNU, with all political parties that are involved. If others want to come in, they will come. We'll move on. All what I'm explaining to you is that we managed to pass the budget framework without the DA. And we can still proceed with the division of revenue without them. We're going to reach a consensus on the budget in terms of negotiations. I'm hopeful about that. That in terms of our negotiations, we'll reach a consensus with political parties. We are not beholden to them. We'll pass through without them. They too have got a choice to become backbenchers and become anything. We don't have that choice. With our 40% majority, when we decide that we are moving, there will have to be another election in this country. We can't. We'll become the biggest opposition. We've got the largest majority, not majority, numbers in parliament to continue to govern this country. Unfortunately, DA does not have that. If they had that, with Malema and them, they will be doing their own dance for this country, and we'll respect them. Truly so, that this is the will of the people. These people are governing us. Malema is president, John is deputy. John is president, Malema is deputy. You see, these people fantasize about being in union building. That thing, you work through it by winning votes. Cyril, as a president of South Africa, is not there because DA made us a favor. He is there because ANC emerged as a majority party. And they duly voted for him when we went to parliament, and all other political parties, except for MK Party and the EFF. All political parties voted for the president to be president. And then that is it. And then, are we desperate to keep them? We're not desperate. Listen, the situation we are in is not fiction, it's a reality. The ANC did not win power. It did not. We are working with people, horrible things are happening around cities. We are working there as ANC with all other political parties and so on. People that we wouldn't have wanted to work with in the first place. So we're not desperate. So GNU, you asked the last question was GNU?
Is the discussions only about the budget, or does it also include other?
No, it is about the budget. It is about the budget impasse. It's about the budget impasse. The ANC will meet at a later stage to reflect on the GNU and so on. We are here now dealing with the budget impasse. The issues that political parties have raised, in the main, what we know, it is the 0.5% increase of VAT, which is what we need to address. We are not discussing many things. If there are many things we need to discuss that are raised by the DA, we are ready to engage on those. But at the same time, how do you engage with those issues when you have decided to block the process? It's going to be very long, this process of the court case. If they win, government will appeal. If probably we win out of that court case, they probably will appeal up to the Constitutional Court in terms of the issues that they are raising, okay? We are not cited there as a party, but you can envision the process forward. So that is part of the discussions we need to talk about among parties. And then how do you justify your stay when you are blocking the processes on the other side? These are hardcore questions that must be answered. And they can't be answered through newspapers. They need to be answered when we sit. You sit that side, we sit here, and we talk. The ANC have got a script of negotiations in terms of engaging with parties, which we have not shared with you today. But we have written to political parties seeking an audience and engagement with them. And we want to conclude that process before the 6th of May, so that we know we are able to pass the division of revenue and all of that or not. So once that process is concluded, we'll give you a breakdown of each political party in terms of our engagement. Or probably we will talk in one voice about the way forward. So there's nobody who's going to be tricked here. We mandated our team in Parliament. Of course, Mdu is part of the negotiating team. Mdu, Zuko, Marupini, Andres Nel, to engage political parties in Cape Town on the budget matter. And they were reporting to the Secretary General. We reported back to the ANC. On the other hand, we were engaging as well with the parties and so on. And then we reported yesterday, and then we're given a mandate to go and engage with everyone and then report back within the next 2 weeks. And then that report, depending on the outcome of that engagement, that report will then have to go to a meeting. If the NEC of the ANC decides in its wisdom and engagement to review GNU, that will be the decision of the NEC. At the present moment, there is no such a decision. You could be meeting ANC members who've got their own opinions. We're a big political party with highly opinionated people. But they must understand their opinions are not party position. The party position is the one that is agreed by the working committee, communicated by the Secretary General. We are a big party. We allow dissent. There are people with different views. And there are people who don't even like the DA and the GNU. But their views are not the party line and the position. You must know, as you engage with your friends in the ANC, some are sharing their opinions, some leak information to you, and we're not blaming you as the media about that. We're not fighting with the media, we are not at war with you. The problem is with us. We know that there are people who are giving you information about the ANC. And it's not your problem. They are your clients. That's what they are. They are not leaders. They are your clients. You know, when you've got a client, a puppet inside an institution, In intelligence work, we call it an asset. You've got assets here in the ANC. You are managing. I don't know how much you pay them, because if you are an asset within an agent, you get paid for that. You see, so yeah, you've got assets here among us who are feeding you information, and that's how you operate. Last night, many journalists called me. What is the decision? This morning, on my way here, somebody called me. Is the DA out? I said, no, but I even blocked that person. I don't report to you, asking me, is the DA out? Because that is the headline. The ANC have decided to keep the DA or kick it out and all of that. We don't work like that. We don't work like that. We're a political party with a huge responsibility to govern this country. Thank you very much.